Okay, on this demonstration I'll show how to modify an existing abstraction, and basically the same rules apply for creating a completely new or fresh abstractions from scratch. But now I'll just expand the existing PowerPoint add-in abstraction. So what we will do here, I'll demonstrate how we can add a checkbox in addition of supporting control to the button. A checkbox is a bit different of nature of a control. It usually has no specific action, but rather an event firing when it's checked, and also based on its initial state we recognize as an architectural state handler requirement for managing the checkbox when the add-in is loaded. So here we have the basic properties of the checkbox. The standard name that identifies it among the other controls, the label that will be visible in the UI. Then is enabled a value that's allowing values for true, false, and dynamic that's currently not supported yet in the generation, Go generation. And then the initial checked state that also supports checked, unchecked, and dynamic. And here the dynamic is so important that we support it from the version 1. And then the optional design documentation as in the bottom. So on the Visual Studio side, let's add the checkbox and see what kind of code it generates. So we start to add a checkbox that allows us to toggle on and off the tweeting so that the PowerPoint is not tweeting all the time. So we add the checkbox, we give it a name, tweeting enabled. Here we initial checked state. We see checked is initially checked. No, we don't want that. Or unchecked, but rather dynamic. That will generate us state handler implementation to retrieve the setup from the saved configuration file. Then on is enabled, we actually have the dynamic value here, but on the annotation we have specified that it's not currently supported. The generator will create an exception if we try to use it before adding it to the generator. Then we label and design documentation, toggles, reading on off, stores the information, user specific options. There. Now we run the templates once again and let's see what it generated for us. So we open the add-in base designer that's used for the generation, and here we can see the checkbox ribbon UI XML. It's a bit more complex because it requires the callback functions for the get pressed once when we enable the dynamic initial state, as well as the standard on action that we have actually reverted to an event handling, which is logically is more than an user started command. So this is user launch event that we want to enable here, and also the initial state is generated for us there. So I'll click on through. I actually have commented the implementation I want to use here, so it's basically the same, but I'll uncomment it and then we go back. Same thing here, tweeting enabled, toggled, and I'll also uncomment these lines to see how it works. Basically now we built and everything works as before, except that we have now the tweeting enable checkbox here that actually saves its state in the configuration file on background. If I rerun the application, it remembered what I had said it before. So here is basically what you saw also on before, but I wanted to explain the architectural approach of implementing checkbox.